changing in our body, in our breath, in our emotions. Everything's always shifting. And so it got me to thinking about change. So, how is it that we know something is changing? How do you know? It's become everything is only and always changing, right? The only thing that's constant is change itself. It's everywhere. Nobody would debate that. Change is happening. How do we know, though? Think about it for a minute. Right now, the Earth is revolving at around 1,000 miles an hour. 25,000 miles circumference, 1 day rotation, 1,000 miles an hour. We don't feel it though, right? Because we're in that. We're part of that. The atmosphere is also rotating. The Earth is rotating. Our bodies are rotating. Since we're rotating with it, you don't feel like you're going 1,000 miles an hour right now, right? So you don't feel that change. So of all the changes you do notice, see, sense, feel, how do you know? What do you think? There has to be something that gives you that perspective. There has to be something that isn't moving with the changes so that their perspective, the relativeness of the changes is apparent to you. Does that make sense? When we're moving 1,000 miles an hour with the rotation of the Earth, we don't notice because we're with it. We're moving with it. The atmosphere is moving with it. Your house, the trees, your pets, everything is spinning. And yet, all the changes that come to us in our life that we can see because there's a perspective. And that perspective is rooted in something that is unchanging. Right? Do you follow? If everything were changing, you wouldn't notice the change. And since you do notice the change, then you know that something isn't changing. So that perspective, that unchanging aspect of you, is known as the self or the seer. And even these words can't describe it because anything that we can name is now part of that which is shifting and changing. So there's something even beyond that. There's something that those words point to that perhaps is eternal or perhaps is part of the one field. No words can describe it. We can attempt, we could talk about it for an hour and we would all walk away unsatisfied with our discussion because words can't describe the wordless in any sense of complete. They can't describe it completely in any way. And we do our best because words are what we have. So when we talk about rolling with the changes, when we seek to understand this a little bit more, it's important that we come back again and again and again to anything that helps us reconnect with that perspective, with that state that's beyond, with the seer, with the self, with that which is unchanging. It's the key to overcoming the afflictions. In the Yoga Sutras, there are 5 kleshas, 5 afflictions, and the 5th one It's called abhinivesha. It means fear of death. And it's said to be the kind of the final domino as we move step by step by step into this broadened awareness of who and what we really are. And when the fear of death starts to lose its grip, then you'll know that you're connecting to something that's deeper. It doesn't mean don't be sad or don't accept or don't understand. Everything's always changing. We can be full of emotions, and yet we also can step back. We can gain some perspective. So the practices that we do, our yoga, our Qigong, our meditation, our breath work, and everything in our world around us, affirmations, reading uplifting books, choosing who you spend time with to some extent, right? All of this supports us remembering, at least in equal measure, that aspect of the seer, the self, the perspective, that which is seen through us. And so that's what Qigong is for me. That's what meditation is for me. That's why I spend a little bit of time every morning, sometimes 15, 20 minutes, sometimes an hour, to do these practices, because they keep reminding me. They keep reminding me. I just notice my day is lighter, that I'm happier. I tend to be on the serious side, so I notice that I'm a little bit less serious, that the world doesn't quite get me down as much when I remind myself again and again and again, there's something greater. There's something beyond this. And so the Qigong practice is a treasure. The yoga practice is a treasure. Walk in the woods is a treasure. Taking time to brush your dog. Right? Linger for a few minutes in an encounter, even when you thought you had somewhere to be. All of these things are your way of asserting the agency that you have in choice here. Because most of what's happening around us, we have no choice around. We don't have choice in the weather today. We don't have choice in the rotation of the earth. Right? A great deal of what's around you isn't under your active control. And for most of us, most days, we can choose to do a little practice, right? We can choose meditation. We can choose Qigong. It doesn't take long. A 5-minute breath practice and a 15-minute meditation is a beautiful morning, a beautiful way to get started with the morning. Closing your evening with whatever prayer means for you. Just keep on stepping back. Don't get caught up too much in the changing. Otherwise, we get tossed about. That's what we see online everywhere. We see everybody upset. And who's to blame? They're in the rinse and wash cycle. They're getting tumbled. Everybody's getting tumbled. And we can step back from that. So our class design then that we studied yesterday in the teacher training is all about moving through these different phases. We acknowledge them. So we're working with the changes of the seasons. Up here in the north, we're in springtime. We had a little glimpse of it, and now winter's saying, I'm still here. And we're like, yeah, not for long. Right? So winter becomes spring. That's where we are. Spring is represented by the energy of growth, of trees. It's called wood because it's about the reaching upward of the tree branches as they grow. And so that's how we begin all of our Qigong classes, with practices that stretch and create flexibility, build some strength in the body. And then we move into practices that build some heat, improve that digestive fire, warm everything up, start to build some strength. That's fire, summer, the earth element. There's 5 seasons in this model. It's called late summer is earth. It's about building strength, core work. All of this is important. And then we do some meditative focus practices. This is where the element of metal comes in. Think about the sharpness of an axe or a knife, right? Precision. So we do some practices where we're really paying attention to every part of the move. And the mind is a little more settled after the warm up, and the fire and the strength building. So we do some meditative practices, and then the final stage of our class is relaxation, rest, integration, being like water, flowing without effort.